All right, all right. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all being here. I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but I just got something very important weighing in on me, and I feel like maybe presenting an idea to the Urshan College. How many of you in here are freshmen, maybe by chance? Okay, so 3 out of 17 are freshmen. That's good. That's good numbers. And so kind of what I'm going to talk about today is something a little different. Some of the central idea here is here at Urshan College, you know, we're moving away from a strict Bible college label to more of like a Christian liberal arts type deal. And so with that, you know, it can be easy to lose some of the Urshan core values. And so what I want to talk to you today is the power of prayer. Walking without prayer can be as deceitful as Satan himself. And so what I want to kind of draw your attention to is an idea that I believe Urshan College should implement into their curriculum as part of their core classes that they should take. Urshan College, in my opinion, there needs to be a class that is offered in the second semester to freshmen that are incoming. And the reason that I say second semester is because most of the time when we get a big wave of students coming in the fall semester, they're just trying to adapt, they're trying to adjust, trying to get used to some of the things here at Urshan College. Maybe a job, they moved away from their families, maybe they never paid bills on their own. And so they're, you know, for the first 6 months, they're trying to adjust. And so this class, in my opinion, needs to be offered in the second semester. Much like hermeneutics, like IPT, and what this class is going to be centered on is strictly prayer. It's not going to be focused on how to pray, not even necessarily when to pray, none of that. What the class is really going to be trying to develop is a habit of prayer. Here at Urshan College, you can become busy, you can get tied around things. Sometimes you may enter into relationships and not know what you're doing. You could get a job and start getting really busy. Life kind of hits you because here you are maybe the first time on your own for many of the freshman students. And so here we are, the second semester is when I think that the best time is going to be to implement it because everybody's going to kind of be settled in. And what it is we're really trying to make sure that many of the students are sticking to their prayer life. And what we want to do is try to develop that habit. And so one of the things that I think would be important with this is statistics show that it takes up to 28 days for someone to develop a habit. Whether that's a good habit or bad habit, you may be here and through a couple weeks decide, man, I'm busy, I don't have time to pray today. And what this class would do is it would be about an hour a day. It would be maybe before chapel, all that can kind of be worked out. And so what it would be is the student goes in and they would kind of set up in there and they would just really mainly focus on prayer. And so they would maybe turn some music on and whatnot, and they would just be trying to develop this student a healthy habit of prayer. As the college begins to grow, get bigger, and move away from just a Bible college label, from just producing ministers, to producing people with degrees that they can use in other aspects of their life, the power of prayer is something that you want, obviously, to implement, to build, to stress, and put an emphasis on to the students that come here. Any student that comes here, they have in some sort of their mind, they're ministry minded, and whether they plan to use the education here to pursue a ministerial role in the church, or whether they use their degree to pursue something from a secular viewpoint, the power of prayer is something that we can never move away from. And developing that habit, at an early age throughout the college here, it will really aid throughout the rest of the time here and to keep everybody's focus aligned. Although there may be a lot of people that maybe disagree with a class that's strictly focused on prayer, it's important and it's essential at the Urshan College that we don't stray away from healthy habits. We don't want to get away from studying and we learn a lot. And the thing is we can study the Bible all day and we can implement ideas about fasting and we can have all these different clubs and outreach programs. But if we're not developing the habit of prayer through all of that, it's kind of pointless. We can go to churches and we can go on UMAs, we can go on outreaches, but if we don't really never learn the basis of what we're doing, if the basis of everything that we do, it hinges on our relationship with God. And so what we have to do through it all is make sure that we have a healthy prayer life. I remember there was a time when we had a minister come to our church, and he got up there to preach and stuff, and he was really well put together. He was very well spoken. His messages was probably one of the best messages that I heard. But when he ended up ending it to call an altar call, something just kind of wasn't right. Something didn't add up with me. And, the altar call seemed to be really weak. There wasn't a big response. And to me, it was a very powerful message, but it just didn't seem like there was much of a draw there. And I began to ask some of the people in the church, because they had a relationship with him and stuff in the past. And, he kind of come around. I was just new in church. And I began to ask him, hey, what's the deal with this guy? He did a good job, this and that. And they told me, they said it all kind of boils down to, we think that that their walk, that somebody's minister, somebody's time that they're preaching and stuff, none of that's really effective if they're not praying like they should. And that kind of reflects, I believe, a lot of times in some of the responses. Not always, sometimes the response just isn't there, but and it really kind of dawned on me to think that as much as we want to put on a face and as much as we want to try to act like we're apostolic, if we don't have a healthy prayer life behind closed doors, then everything else is for show. And so I think that our walk with God in private is more important than our walk with God in public. And so I think maybe trying to center on this idea that we should build this healthy habit of prayer, that we should implement a class, that's a core class, I think would really help in some of the freshman students in developing a healthy prayer life. Thank y'all for being here, and I appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.